Good morning and welcome to, or good afternoon, right on the dot at 12. Welcome to Gulfstream Park on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. We've got a fast track, firm turf course. Unfortunately, some rain yesterday, Brian, forced us out of off the grass, but today we're back. We're better than ever. We've got 2 stakes races for the 2-year-olds today. It's starting to get that time of year where I feel like this younger crop starts separating themselves.
I couldn't agree more. The precociousness starts to wear off when you stretch them out to 6 furlongs, like we will today in the Sharp Susan and the Proud Man. And I think the separation starts to become a little more evident now with the 2-year-olds in, May and June that were simply better than their rivals, and they just go about their business. Now you got to earn it a little more, but as you said at the start, back on the turf today, and, unfortunately, with all the rains across the country, a lot of other places can't say that. Well, we can.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm going to confidently say it today. We said that yesterday, literally 24 hours ago.
And it started pouring.
I think we're in a good spot today. I hope to see everybody out here, too. We got that ice cream stuff going on. That's a lot of fun. We will partake in that, but very happy to be back on the turf today on a firm turf course as well. Big doings in the rainbow as well.
Yes, there is $200,000 in this estimated pool today. They sent it in yesterday, and I'm sure they will today. It's good to be back on the grass, and we'll go ahead and get into this opener here. It kicks off that early pick 5, and Brian's got the ticket.
Yeah, and thanks to everybody out there, too. Business was very, very good yesterday. If you followed along, the pools were huge, over $250,000 in the early pick 5, late pick 5, I think, as well, too, which is a big, big number. We'll take a look at my ticket now. Had to rework things a little bit. There was a key scratch in this sequence, Azia Lorenzo, who I thought was probably a single. I go 3 deep here in the opener. Race 2 is that race where Azia Lorenzo came out, so I scratch into Lieutenant Stan, our buddy Ben's hunch play today on Ice Cream Day. In race number 3, I've got the single, the 5, White Claw Woman is my best bet of the day today. Race 4 will go 86 is your order. Las Olas is a short price, but looking Asa, I think first time back on the Tapeta for Delgado is very dangerous. And then the 5th race on the turf in a maiden special weight. Boy, we had 3 good maiden special weights yesterday, a couple of them for the 2-year-olds. 2-year-olds in the spotlight again today, not only the stakes, but these maiden special weights as well. I am on cheese for Team Cassie and DJ.
Well, let's get into the opener.
And that's the 4, excuse me.
Yes, $35,000 maiden claimers. These are for 2-year-old fillies, 5 furlongs on the turf course. The rails are at 66 feet today. Could be a problem for those outside post positions, so take note of that. And the 9 for you, Brian, Saturn's Ghost.
This is a pretty good post. I like to be kind of in the middle in these turf sprints, maybe a little farther out than maybe ideal, but I got to be honest with you, Samantha, I didn't see a lot in here. I know Bobby DeBona isn't necessarily a turf guy, 0 for 6 first turf. You've heard me say this time and time again. Turf sprints, to me, I'm not that big of a deal on pedigree or anything like that. Let's just break and hum around there, and I would think she's got some speed.
Yeah, well, look at the OBS work. It was a $40,000 purchase. She worked 10 flat this day. It was 70 degrees out. She did it pretty forwardly. She's got that lighter hip in the walking video. You can really see it. And while I was just looking at her at first, I didn't even see the surface, and I was happy to see that she is indeed on the grass today. So we'll see how she fares out. But a solid enough work for sure today. And in a field that's got a lot of questions, I went to the 7 Rancho Vista. This is just a horse that I had put in my notes. Well, first off, Battalion Runners, they are winning a really quite impressively, but typically first time out, but this is a second time starter. I thought that she was going to need longer. She's going to be a big price, but I just thought that this is going to be a good spot for her to come back to. And then after that, we've got the 2 in the mix here. Garuda, at least we've got some experience.
Well, yeah, she had trouble last time, too. She wasn't going to win by any stretch of the imagination, but she was rolling into the far turn, checked a little bit, lost some momentum. Antonio Sano, first-time starter. Well, now that's behind her, and she can move forward today.
Yeah, she can. Race 2, it is a start of early pick 4, and Brian will tweet out that ticket, 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta track. This is a claiming $25,000 level for 3-year-olds or 4 and up, which has never won 2. Grand Daniel comes out, as well as the 6 Romping Runner and the 7 Zio Lorenzo. And Edgar Zayas will ride the number 8 Hours for sure. Drayden Van Dyke off his mounts today. We'll keep you updated. And, of course, Pete Aiello is upstairs, and he'll give you some changes as well. But the 4 on top for you, Lieutenant Stan.
Yeah, I mean, he was second at this level last time, and whereas Zio Lorenzo won the race, and as a 3-year-old, he could have run back today, having already beaten the condition. Well, now Lieutenant Stan, I think, is front and center. I know he gave up an open length lead in the stretch last time, but Zio Lorenzo was a very short price. He was 6-5. I thought Lieutenant Stan ran very, very well in defeat. You want to say he's 1 for 17 and 7 underneath finishes. I'm not going to fight you on that, but who else is in here? I don't like your horse at all, but he moves way up today with the scratch.
He does, and it's a good outside post position,
it is.
too. I think that's solid enough, too. Of course, Edgar Zayas gets aboard. That's a good sign. Main rider for Sappy, and Sappy had quite a day yesterday as well.
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably be favored now with Edgar picking up the mounts. They're just going to bet him with 2 hands.
Yeah.
I get it, but I know Lieutenant Stan at 1 for 17. I still feel pretty strongly he's looking up at him.
Race number 3, it's a maiden $12,500 level. These are for fillies and mares 3 and up. 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. The number 1, Black and Silver, is out. And Skylar Spanabel will ride the number 7, Barbesco Baby here. And the 5, White Claw Woman, first off the claim.
Yeah, this is my best bet of the day. This Oscar Gonzalez barn has done little wrong all meet long. Hasn't done it with the claiming horses. I will say that. He's been, doing it with acquisitions or just doing it with horses for that matter. But I think this is a pretty sharp claim here. We've got 2 starts for Jack Sisterson moving forward in both of them seemingly now. So he gets her in the 3rd career start and 3rd start of her form cycle. Who are you supposed to be scared of in here? And who's riding? Amicio. It's go time today.
Yeah, that definitely makes her quite appealing. She is a 3-year-old facing a few 4-year-olds. With the 4-year-olds aren't that much. I went to the 11 just because, like you said, who are you afraid of here? It's a new face, and you don't have to be 100% fit for a 5 furlong Tapeta race.
No, I don't like the layoff, but you're right on that. The Delgado barn has just been so cold here during the meet. It had that 2 days, I think, where he won 2 of the 3 races. Otherwise, they're just not running. The layoff here, the works, they're very slow, and not that I've seen them or anything, but this is a barn that can work them pretty quickly, and I don't know. We'll see what we get there. The other thing that kind of bugged me a little bit, she was 12 and 18 to 1 for Kent Sweezy, who, pretty solid. Those were championship meet races, but we'll see what we get today off the break.
Yeah, pay attention to the tote board.
Yes.
As far as the rest of the field, it's kind of all over the place. The Tenzoya's Faith brings some speed, if nothing else.
Yeah, blinkers come off today, but she does have speed. It's a good post for her, and she's run well in her last 2 on the Tapeta.
Race number 4, it is a claiming $8,000, non-winners of 2 lifetime. It is a 1 1/8 on the Tapeta today. The 4 Moonwatch will be ridden by Edwin Gonzalez. It is a field of 9 here. I don't have the 8 anywhere.
XY face, late scratch.
Oh, 3. That's right. Thank you so
Very
much.
Late one.
Yep, late scratch of the 3 XY face in this spot. And looking at for you.
You don't have this horse anywhere? I figured this would be like your best bet of the day.
No.
This is 2nd time Delgado off the claim. I just poo-pooed this barn, but now I'm going to come back to him. Because this horse, you can't find it. You got to look for it. But this horse has a good Tapeta figure, and take that for what it's worth, but for a different trainer. Now he's going to run him on the Tapeta. I thought the comeback off the claim, off a little bit of a freshening, was pretty good. That was July 13th. Now we move forward. We very rarely run 9 furlongs on the Tapeta. I mean, you can probably count on 2 hands the amount of times we've done that this year, maybe 1. This is an attrition race. I like a 2nd turn for this horse as well.
I think that will help for sure, and it's just something new as of late, and the first time with the barn, which I get that as well. The 6 Las Olas, to me, this is certainly the horse to beat, and he's just been hanging at this distance of 1/16, so you're going to hope you're going to take a step forward.
Well, yeah, and that's why the other reason why I've got the 8 on top. If you're going to tell me Las Olas is the horse to beat, and he is, and he's 9-5 on the morning line, and he should be 9-5 in this race, I'm going to look elsewhere because he doesn't have a lot of early speed. And, I'm printing 8 deep in my PPs, and I don't see a W. So
to his credit, he ran back very quickly last time. We went from June 22nd to June 30th. And I get it's a cheaper horse. You can get away with things like that. But sometimes it takes a little out of him.
Yeah, and he ran well, too.
He did. What do you do with the 4 Moonwatch here now?
I don't know. Edwin Gonzalez is going to get aboard. I like that. He rides a Tapeta as good as anybody here.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, I don't know. You go against Jose D'Angelo at your own risk these days, and he does come out of the Zio Lorenzo Lieutenant Stan race, which is a very, very good race for that group. But now we're going to go from 5 to 9 furlongs. We're going to put blinkers on. He is a Dubawi out of a Invincible Spirit mare. You would certainly think on the top of this pedigree, an absolute Hall of Fame sire.
Yeah.
Boy, I have no idea what you're going to get today.
It'll be interesting to see, because I feel like in overseas where this horse started out,
right?
If he was going to be a mile and an eighth horse, they run those horses very soon on, and they didn't. So
the Gosdens couldn't get anything out of him. He was 8-1 last time in that race, and now you can have him not quite the bottom, but he's trending that way.
Yeah. Race 5, it is a very competitive maiden special weight for fillies. These are 2-year-olds here. 7.5 furlongs on the turf course. They are on the inner part of the rail setting here today, so rails are down for this race. The 9 and the 10 are out. Those are long shots here, and it starts the tropical turf pick 3. 15% takeout, $3 minimum. An incredible wager to play, the best turf wager you can get. And we'll take a quick look at my ticket. I'm singling right off the bat here with the 4 Cheese. This is the horse to beat. Race 8. It's a tricky one for me. I do have the 3 Novala on top. I don't trust this horse, though. And in race number 11, this is a really good finale as well. I have the 3 Come to Papa on top, but also going to use a couple of others. It's a $36 play for me. And Brian, this 5th race, I said it's a tricky one here. You went with Cheese on top as well. Let's look at the replay, because I think this is a good replay to show. Really good one to show.
Yeah, here's Cheese. Bellamy is a little farther back, and that worries me too, because Jose D'Angelo's taking the blinkers off of her today. Cheese ran well. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Stretching out off a very iffy kind of DOB, dead on the board debut, and she didn't want to give it up. This Daughter of Brethren, we get that distance on the bottom with Lemon Drop Kid here. She kind of got nagged the entire way by Matanata, put her away, won the battle, lost the war. We talk about that kind of thing a lot. Well, today, and that was the race where Ramsey Pond got wandering there late, shied a little bit there, and Superzano, the live Oak homebred, got the job done. This race, I can feel pretty confident and comfortable saying this race today is not nearly as good as that race.
No,
Right?
I agree completely, because really the only other one in here is Belmia, and we saw her just then. I do like the blinkers off move, but as you can see, she wasn't as good as Cheese by any means.
No, not at all. And Cheese is still moving forward, and we'll see. I don't know what to make of the 6. For some reason, she was favored over her stablemate, who we'll talk about in a second, in the Sharp Susan in race 6. Last time, I have no idea why. She ran very poorly, and now we're going to go from 5.5 on the dirt to 7.5 on the turf for a barn. This is absolutely impossible, but Carlos David is 0 for 26.
Amazing.
First turf.
Yeah, this is a barn that wins multiple races everywhere. A lot of good work, but the turf is not something that you really want to send it into the bank. That's 5. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Ron Nicoletti has got that Rambo 6 ticket. We've got our feature stake races to talk about, so don't go away.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau and Samantha Perry with you on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. We've got 11 races on this Gulfstream card, some great races to end the second half of the card. And Ron Nicoletti, who will be with us for the opener, Brian, he's got that Rainbow Six ticket. He hit it yesterday. It wasn't a big payoff, but he did hit it yesterday. So let's take a look at his ticket now.
Yep, a little more bankroll today, and we got the two-year-old stakes races. It'll kick right off here in the Sharp Susan. You can see he's going 3 deep. Race number 8 is his single there, and that is the 3 Novala, who's going to be very, very tough and probably a very short price in there as well. And then he's spreading, and that includes race number 10, which is the 2-year-old colt race, and that is the Proud Man. And I think that is, for my money at least, much more competitive potentially than the Sharp Susan, which we can take a look at right now.
We can indeed, and it is a really good race here. 6 furlongs on the fast main track. Our track crew did an incredible job getting this track fast after the rain we got yesterday. Yep, we do scratch the 6. Brenna, long shot, not going to play here today. And winning you're in. We'll show the replay, and I'll let you talk about this filly here.
Yeah, there's not a lot to talk about. This is just an absolute tour de force. Her stablemate's backing up there. We already talked about her. She's in a little bit earlier. This is a sharp effort. This is to run a 79 buyer speed figure as a 2-year-old filly on July 6th. That's a big, big number. That is going to win Saratoga graded stakes races, to put it bluntly. Now, can she reproduce it? Those are Florida breds. Those were maidens. There probably wasn't a lot behind her, including Be a Queen, who was a distant second for Jen Antonucci. I don't know, but if she's going to throw that race down again, nobody in here will beat her.
No, and the barn is going so good.
Yeah.
Sometimes you wonder whenever they run such a huge race like that, will it knock them back a couple
steps?
Steps?
No doubt about it. That was way up here.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, that being said, she is the one to beat. Now, my long shots in here.
Be, right?
Yes, the New Beginning, and we'll watch the replay of this. Now, it was on the Tapeta. But bear with me here, because this was a horse that I saw work in early April before this debut here, and the work was deceivingly good on the main track. It was at Palm Meadows. This horse didn't pass horses. She broke like a rocket for Inel Cordero, who does okay with first-time starters, actually, just so-so, and just took off. Now, I think that she's going to be better on the dirt. I'm glad she got this experience out of the way. I know that she brought some speed to the table there on the dirt. I don't know what we'll get today, but I've seen enough, I mean, just from looking at her works, that she should be able to handle it. And these two, don't pay attention to the speed figure here, because on the Tapeta, I paid no mind to it.
No, I agree with that. She should be a very big price, and you're taking a shot. I will say this, other than the heavy favorite win and you're in, the rest of these gals, I alluded to it earlier, I think the Proud Man is a much, much deeper, more competitive race, and you can take the kind of mindset that you've got one horse to beat in here. You're not really supposed to be scared of anybody else. I know Wiggle and Wine, the homebred for the Pinchins, ran very well on debut. That's the one, but the post is a problem here today. She's going to have to see it out on the lead. Be a Queen is still a maiden. She can move forward for Jen Antonucci. And the 7 Vuela Paloma is a maiden as well for the Bennett barn. So, you know, hey, your horse has got to win. Don't ever look past that.
Exactly, and especially in a race like this where you know, we can take a look at them and see how they are on the track too, and maybe make some adjustments, because sometimes horses, when they fire a huge shot, and my top pick included, they can be a little bit fried after that, and it happens. But a very competitive edition of the Sharp Susan as we kind of start seeing these 2-year-olds start to develop. Now, race 7, a maiden special weight event. This is for 2-year-olds here, 5 furlongs on the dirt track. We scratched the 4 El Mango. I'm not going to say that name, but we'll take a look at my late pick 5 ticket here, and it's a $12 play for me because I'm singling right off the bat. This is my best bet. Race 8, I do have the 3 on top. Race number 9, the 4 on top for me, Cartano. Race 10, the 5, that is Naughty Rascal. And in race number 11, I do have the 3, Come to Papa on top. Race 7 is a really good one as well for the 2-year-olds. Miguel Vasquez will ride the number 9, and we'll talk about the 6 first, and then we'll talk about the 9. Oleg, who just didn't have anything to fire last time.
Well, he lost, he hit the rail and
He did.
stopped basically last time. They liked him a little bit last time, and now he's off the rail. I'm going to give him another chance. You just completely draw a line through the race last time. We thought he got put into the rail. He just shied from it, actually, when we watched the head-on. And he didn't like being down in there, clearly. So now he's off that. We've got the experience. You got a field littered with first-time starters, essentially including your best bet as well. So, I'm going to give him another chance. This Arundel homebred, I think maybe with that behind him now, hopefully, he's worked since then at least to get that kind of out of his system. I look at that gate drill on July 21st. Mighty, mighty snappy. We'll come back to him because the other thing, too, I would assume he's going to be the third best price in here of your horse in the Rohan Firster.
We'll talk about Neoquos because this horse, this was a very eventful race, and when we talk about Naughty Rascal in the Proud Man, we can kind of touch on that.
Right.
But there was a lot going on, a lot of loose horses before the race, and then when the race finally left the starting blocks, this horse got bumped and dropped Drayden Van Dyke.
Yeah, so you have no idea what you're going to get today. He's worked very well since. Safi's going to put the blinkers on. Miguel's going to get aboard here. The outside post is probably not a bad thing now, being what
happened last time.
What happened last time. They're going to bet him. That's the only bummer for you. And he's 2-1. Made him favorite on the line. You have no idea what you're going to get.
No, you don't, and that's why it's a little bit of a bold best bet, but I think that it works because the horse that I honestly was afraid of, will show you the OBS work now. I'm not afraid of this horse when I saw this, to be honest. The works are fast here. This horse worked 10-2. I don't like the way this horse travels. You see how high Brian he picks his feet up off the ground here. And he's just not very efficient. He just goes up and down more than striding out. It worked 10-2. Very short coupled. He's a horse that obviously I think that the dirt will suit him better, and the morning works on the dirt have been solid. But just because they're fast doesn't always mean they do them in the best way. And that's kind of, I feel like he's a trap.
Well, I agree with everything you said there. I'm kind of over these Rohan Firsters. I need to see a race before and Rohan is as good as anybody here, okay? That's not a knock. I'm trying to find the horse tomorrow that we thought was maybe a cinch albeit on the turf last time, and didn't do any running at all. And they're going to bet these horses.
Always,
and they work fast, and that's great. But then the gates open, and then it's a different ball game in the afternoon. So I'm against this horse too. I respect the heck out of this barn.
Yeah.
But these are the type we talk about these stats and things like that. These are the type of places where maybe you try to beat these types of barn. And that's what I'm going to do today.
And they look more enticing, the quick works.
Oh yeah. Dam did win on debut, and she was
and a half to a horse named Southern Palace who won first time out, but that was with Safi Tapita going 2 turns. So $60,000 from McLean's Music is not a lot.
No. Quickly, I want to. You got the one in there as well. These Glen Hill homebreds. Now, Bethany Bumgarner, they unleashed a real freak on the turf. That was like, I think, 21-1. The rail stinks. This horse probably wants to run a lot longer. The Dam really did, but she did win her debut at 5 furlongs. Take note of that. Main guys, Edwin is here. If you get a little toad action here, you might want to watch out.
Yep. Race 8. It's a late pick for a mile on the grass course. We'll take a quick look at Brian's ticket here.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's about a little more than I normally like to spend. I was thinking that'd be a scratch or two. It did not happen. So here's a $45 late pick 4. I get that Noval is a huge favorite. We're going to talk about her. I'm not against her. I just didn't want to pick her. The gang is there in race 9. The top pick is the 8. That's my long shot, Bringer of Rain. Proud Man, as I alluded to, I thought it was wide open. Wait till you see my pick. It's the 3 Rafid, the Sano Firster. Okay. I'm getting way out there.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to get Quattro Centro to the turf, much like your best bet earlier. The Quattro Centro did start on the turf. He did not run on the turf. I'm going to give him another chance today in the finale. That is the 5 horse in race number 11. That turf finale, that maiden special weight, is a real good one as well. I'll tell you what, the races today are really good.
Very good.
And the fact we're on that green stuff here in race 8 as well, man, that's really cool too.
Yeah, 66 feet are the rail settings for this spot, so be wary of those outside posts. Edgar Perez will ride the number 2. Or Edgar Zayas, pardon me, sorry. Will ride the 2 LeBeau, who's certainly a big player here. You went to the number 1 Sal's Dream Girl. Back to the grass.
Back to the grass, but I mean, I picked this horse last time, and I certainly didn't think she was going to win by over 3 lengths, and an absolute canter for Gary Jackson off the claim. She's got a turf win here. That was a good race last time, and Novala got so set up in her race 2 back. And she's going to be a really short price, so I was willing to go too deep in here. Well, you got her in the mix too.
Yeah, I think she's a huge player, and I love her on the grass as well. I was kind of against her a bit on the Tapeta, but you outsmarted everybody there, and that was a good pick by you. I like those two. The rest of the field are just kind of there.
Novala couldn't lose her turf race 2 back when that was with Sandino and Amity Racing.
Yeah.
With that being said, she was really darn good winning it. Throw out the powder break on the Tapeta with Baticata Freak that day. So she's a very short price on the turf today.
Race 9, it's a claiming $10,000. Mile and a 16th on the Tapeta here. We've got a field of 9. The gang is all here. The number 3 Swan Lake will be ridden by Jose Ferrer. You went to the 8. That is Bringer of Rain, and we'll watch the replay here, and you can talk about Bringer of Rain because Bringer of Rain is in this Bryce Canyon Swan Lake race. Yeah, he's right there on the rail.
There he is back there, finishing 13 blanks behind the rest of the field.
That's all right.
I don't know what's going on with Swan Lake. You figure it out. I can't. He absolutely runs off the screen this day. There's no way you can trust him right back. He has been in good form, although he stunk 2 back. So this is the gang here. They're all here. Here's Swan Lake. This, I will say this, a heck of a catch ride for Jose Ferrer because this horse suits his running style, his riding style,
big time,
like a glove. We're going. You can try to come and catch us. Well, that was with Carlos David. Now we're off the claim for an Agostini barn that hasn't won here. Has, solid barn, don't get me wrong, but hasn't won here. And you can't trust Swan Lake as far as you can throw him off that race. He's got capital B written all over him with a bounce. And, if nothing else, Bringer of Rain off the Column Mirage claim, very crafty barn here, has got plenty of back races, including a win over Bryce Canyon. That could beat this field, so I'll take a shot. It's my long shot.
Yeah, I think the one you want to stay away from in that race was the 6 Night Jumper. I didn't like the way he finished.
Yeah, I want to stay away from Bryce Canyon, too, to be honest.
That's true. I think I'm not using him. I think Bryce Canyon is going the wrong direction now. But he's very solid when he's on his day, and I just don't know how today's going to be.
No, your horse, if nothing else, the Fort Cartano, has proven form and consistent form. That's a big deal in this race.
And not part of that last race. He's had more space between races. I think a fresh horse is kind of a good thing. Now, the 10th race is the Proud Man, 6 furlongs for the 2-year-old males here. We have a rider change of the number 1, I'm Bigger Than I Look. Edgar Zayas will ride. A very competitive field here. The 3, first-time starter for you, Rafid for Antonio Sano.
Couple things going on here. There's a world of speed in this race. Okay, I think they're going to go. I think 6 furlongs could be a problem for some of these horses. This is a very well-bred horse. The Dam won her debut. She won the UAE Oaks, the Grade 3. Other Foal did win a race up in New York. I look at that July 26th. Well, listen, Antonio Sano runs a lot of horses. I get that. None of them are in spots where they can't compete.
No, that's a great point.
Taking a shot at a big price. There's a slew of works here, and this is an Into Mischief that will love every inch of 6 furlongs.
Yeah, a homebred too. It'll be interesting to see. I'm excited to see the horse in the flesh because there were no works, and you're just playing the guessing game. We'll show the replay of Naughty Rascal because this was so impressive this day. I picked him. This was this was a race where there was so much going on here, including a huge rainstorm. So thank you, Bob, for finding this. He checks here. Boom. And this was not good at all. And the fact that he is able to win this race. Now, I'm not going to say that this was a crazy good field, but the fact that he was able to, go through a really tough post position, the far outside for debut, and then have this trip and still pass horses and win. To me, passing horses, it's huge, Brian.
Everything you said is totally spot on. I mean, the last line in my notes was very impressive, all things considered.
Yep.
They did time the race with a sundial. That's kind of the bummer. Okay, that tempers the enthusiasm. It was on a sloppy track. But everything Samantha said is spot on because 2-year-olds don't do that on debut and get up in time. He's a very talented horse.
It is, and I think he was what a great buy, too, because this was a steal for him. He's a big, good-looking son of Roguish. I think he's going to love the distance as well. We'll talk about Classic, of course, very quickly. We'll look at the replay because this was at Saratoga, which, by the way, huge inside speed this day. This horse was against it.
Yeah, I mean, here he is out here. This is the Belmont at Saratoga, so don't let those graphics. Don't let those graphics fool you. It is still at Saratoga. Listen, he was 4-1 that day against those some good ones up at Saratoga, and he ran very, very well. He only beat 3 horses in his debut race here, but he did it by with absolute ease.
Yeah.
He went up north. It's not easy for a 2-year-old to ship or do any of those kind of things. He acquitted himself very nicely. They bet these being cone horses. This is a homebred that ran very well. I don't have any problem with him at all.
No.
I just didn't want to take a short price on him.
That's fair. And you see whenever he got into the rail, he started running again. If you want to look about how crazy fast that inside was. Mila's Wish, really quickly, we'll take a look at a Mike Yates stat because this is a barn that is so solid with his 2-year-old firsters, second-timers, stake horses, and look at this here.
Well, you can just kind of look at it on paper. This is a solid stat, 18%, and say, this horse won on May 17th, and Mike Yates knows this race is here, and he backed off and probably put a bullseye around this race. And you look at the work on August 2nd, Source is ready to roll here. What do we get today? Well, I don't know, but this is a very, very game winner on debut. Outside post could be a little problem. We're going to be on the hard chase here throughout with this horse.
Race 11, the finale today, a very competitive maiden special weight event, a mile on the turf course. Rails are at 66 feet here, so on the outer, Jose Ferrer will ride the number 2 Beach Gold. It's a field of 11, and number 5 Quattro Cinto to you. Another one had a tough trip last time, lost the rider at the start.
Yeah, so there's nothing to go on here, but this is a Warfront colt here for Fausto Gutierrez, homebred for St. George's, who brought us Latrusca amongst others, and now I was waiting for this horse. These Warfronts on the turf, well, obviously didn't count last time. Should be a square price. This is a phenomenal finale here.
It is. Quattro Cinto, I had a bit of an eventful trip being caught. I'm interested to see how he comes back. You don't want to see him too blown up coming back here with that race. We'll quickly look at the replay of Come to Papa and Goes the Clown here. There's not a lot going on, but I did want to show Goes the Clown tried this the whole way with Catch a Tiger and could not get it. Now, Come to Papa was way too far out of it. I didn't really like this placement. Edgar Zayas will get aboard Come to Papa today. Goes the Clown couldn't finish it out, but Catch a Tiger, to his defense, ran good last week.
Yeah, he did, facing winners too in that spot. I think clearly Goes the Clown is the horse to beat. Yep. But with all that being said, the margin is probably not going to be what the tote board is going to tell you it is.
No, a very competitive race. So you look at those outside posts, tread very lightly, especially the 10 and the 11 here, because it's very tough from way out there. We'll quickly get to the lightning round here. Just a couple of things to touch on that's going on. We've got a lot of things going on here at the track today, but none other first than the giveaway. We've got a fanny pack giveaway, noon to 3 p.m. for a fanny pack. That's good
so you
stuff.
got to bet 50, and you can head over there over in Silks, and they'll take care of you there. Wager 50. That's pretty darn easy to do.
Yep, very. I did it already.
Right.
Ice cream vendors in the breezeway here as well today. We'll be getting a part of that for sure. I think Ron is going to buy for us, so thank you, Ron. So make sure to come check out the breezeway because a lot of stuff going on, and your best bet today.
His rainbow winnings can buy us.
There you go.
Some ice cream, or we could split some ice cream at least with his winnings. I'm on early in the card, race number 3, I do believe, and that is White Claw Woman for Oscar Gonzalez.
I have Neoquos for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Race number 7 in your long shot.
Yeah, my long shot should be a square price. I think Bringer of Rain off that kind of no-show last time with some others in there that are really going to take some money. So we'll try him.
Mine's a real long shot. The New Beginning for Nel Cordero, 20-1 in the stakes. So that's it. That's 11 for us today. We'll send it upstairs to Pete Aiello. Ron Nicoletti will be back with us. We're on the grass. It's a firm turf, fast main track. Enjoy your Saturday here at Gulfstream Park.